Welcome to the fish tank.
Hey everybody, Fishman here. This is going to be the first filter I am going to make for the new rack system. It is going to be a box filter, even though it's going to be round. It does still fit the definition. I had originally gotten this piece of acrylic quite some time ago now. My supplier cuts an awful lot of material for clients, and they end up with remnants like this. And I get them at a discount, and that's great because I can use them for various projects. I had originally intended this to be a nano tank style. I was going to use this cylinder to make a small desktop tank, but I have a couple of them laying around, so I figured I would use one of them and build this filter. The downside is it's round, so I'm going to need to turn these square pieces into round, flat, perforated pieces that I can easily and snugly fit inside that cylinder. The good news is I get to use this arbor I had built. I made this for when I was doing the bandsaw build, when I was making the flywheels, and it really wasn't suited for that purpose. But because these are extruded pieces of acrylic, they are going to fit perfectly on this, and they're all going to be parallel, and it won't be an issue at all. Now I promise I won't be doing all the builds that were, then they're going to end up requiring a lathe and a milling machine and that sort of stuff. I am going to make some filters that you can make with ordinary tools that you can find, or most people would have laying around. Unfortunately for this one, that's not the case. Now, as far as like filters go, if you do a search for DIY aquarium filters, you're going to find all kinds of stuff online that use household materials and that sort of stuff. I probably won't be doing too many of those unless you guys want me to. There's an awful lot of videos already about people using that sort of materials to make filters, and I don't know if it's really necessary for me to do so. If you want to, just let me know in the comment section, and I'd be more than happy to try and find a different angle and a new way of doing that sort of thing. Just let me know. So for the moment, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this piece of acrylic, or 3 pieces of acrylic, and then I'm going to gradually make them rounder. I'm not going to show you the whole process. It takes about 20-25 minutes, I think, to do the whole thing, and that would be way more than I want to put in this video. And also the other thing is, it was a really kind of a bad angle to show you, so I'm just going to hold it in my hand here for a second and give you at least one clip of one pass. And as you can see, you end up producing an awful lot of excess material, which goes flying pretty much everywhere. And this is getting rounder and rounder, and eventually you end up with 3 pieces of acrylic that fit nice and snugly inside this nice tube, which is great. This is what I wanted. I'm not sure I'm going to use all 3 because I think 2 is going to be sufficient, but I wanted to have an extra one just in case I want to make different layers. So now, because I need some water flow through this, I am going to drill holes around the outside of it, and this gives me a nice little pattern and a nice spot for, like I said, for lots of water flow. Now, because these holes are quite large, I am going to need to modify how I set up the material that goes inside this so I don't suck up any fish. Not that there's going to be a lot of, flow through it, but it'll be enough maybe for small babies to get where they shouldn't be. The small problem with this was when you do a lot machine, the skin that's on this, the protective barrier, it tends to melt rather easily, so I end up with them all being stuck together. But in the end, it ended up being a nice pattern. It also, like I said, gave me a good use for that arbor. I have some uses I need for it to come up, and I wanted to test if I could easily turn square pieces into round pieces, and as you can see, it worked quite well, and I think they're going to work quite nicely for this little project. One other small change is originally I had tended, you can see the bottom piece is square here. I meant for it, I was going to put rocks around the outside on the lip there to keep it from floating around, but I decided I really didn't like the look of it. So I ended up machining that down as well into a nice round circle too. That's all done off camera, but just to let you know, because I think it's the very next clip that shows up here. It's a round bottom on it, and that's the reason why. So the egg crate's very easy to to manipulate. You can use a little piece of snips if you want. I use a table saw, but that's only because I'm lazy, and it's very quick and easy to do it that way. It just keeps the bottom plate off the bottom so that I can get some water circulation underneath there, and I'll get more draw and hopefully more even flow. So now the other part I didn't show is the central hole there. I have cut to 1 inch diameter, same as the build I did for the giveaways for the filtered breeder boxes, and this piece of pipe just fits nice and snugly down inside that. Well, this side fits nice and snugly down inside that. When you cut them, sometimes you get a bit of a flange on the outside, and it doesn't always quite fit nicely, but it does fit, so that's the important thing. And I also really wanted it to be a snug fit, because I don't really want to glue this, at least not yet anyway. Maybe after I've run it for a little while and I've worked out the kinks, I may glue this down into place, but I really wanted it to fit tightly as a friction fit, and then I can make adjustments later on as we go along. And there, my wife actually came down and wanted to know how it works, so I was explaining to her how the airlift works and all the media and stuff. That's what all hand gestures are all about. So anyway, I'm gonna now, here you go, I've cut the bottom and I have glued it in place. The 4 holes that are sitting there are just from the arbor, and I wasn't at all concerned about that because it is going to fit on a glass bottom tank, so there won't be any issues with water, loss of filter flow because of water. If they were going to sit on gravel or something, I would have to plug them up, but that's very easy to do. So there you go, it's going to fit this down inside now, and there's only one last thing to do for this build, and that is to extend the lift tube, which is very easy to do. If you remember from the first clips of the video, I had 2 pipes in there, one slightly larger diameter. Well, it just fits on top of that with a teeny little bit of machining. So there you go, and that makes it adjustable, so I can adjust the height and how much flow I get. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. This is, like I said, going to be the first video for this series. Please like and or subscribe. And the next couple videos along this will be some more filters, and then I want to get this all up and running, and I want to get fish in it and all that sort of stuff. So like I said, I'll probably be putting in a few extra videos just to try and keep everything up to date. And I want to get this going as quickly as possible, so there will be some extra videos, which is great for you guys, but a little extra work for me. Anyway, thanks again. I will see you in the next video, and thanks very much for watching. Bye for now.